What's going on, y'all? This is another episode 5 of the Beyond the Vision podcast. And I got my sister, my rider, my killer. This is my New Yorker. This is my dog, one of my mentees. I look up to her. We have a give-take relationship. Her name is Marlexis Cintron, and I brought her on the scene for some specific reasons. One, she's dominating the game in the Navy. Two, she's dominating the game when it comes to entrepreneurship, which I call mommypreneurship, because she's a single mother out here and she's making it happen. She's balancing Navy, she's balancing business, and she's balancing motherhood, y'all. And everybody can't do that. So I want her to come on the scene and just talk about her journey a little bit. Let's go. And I just want y'all to know this is a perfectionist. You know what I'm saying? It took us a minute to hop on here because she had to beautify. She been on the road. So I just want to first say, thank you for taking that time out to hop on the Beyond the Vision podcast after having a long drive and a long weekend and getting all beautified for us on the camera. Y'all check out the queen. So go ahead, let's go. Tell them who you are and where you from, what you does dizzle.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much, Shirkydra, for having me on here. I've been looking forward to this all day, even though I took my time getting on. All right, so my name is Marlexis, and my last name is Cintron. Everyone calls me Cin in the Navy. It's just a name that I got. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, Bed-Stuy.
Just let y'all know, don't mess with her. Don't mess with her.
Yeah, so as Shirkydra says, I am a single mother. I have a child. I have one child, a boy. I've been in the Navy for 7 years, going on 8 this year. Mm-hmm. And it's the whole entire process from the moment I became a mother, which was my 2nd year in the Navy, till now. Everything has just been a lot to juggle. But, you know, with God's grace, I've been able to do it.
Come on, somebody, because God's got to be in the mix. Yes. Come on, hallelujah, somebody.
His guidance, his favor, everything I've been able to manage and, you know, still be able to achieve, which is, you know, the end goal for everything. You know, you're not just trying to do it to see if you're able to do it. You're trying to, once you know that you're able to do it, you're trying to accomplish something and to the finish line. And, you know, with God being by my side, I've been able to do it.
And I think it's super. Though one thing I didn't mention, she's also a class or two away from her master's degree. One class from the master's. And if you don't know, for all those non-military folks, it takes us forever, for one, to get an education because of tuition assistance, unless you activate your GI Bill. But trying to balance deployments, like everything that you have going on, when I hear and know, I have many friends from Brooklyn, from Bed-Stuy, and I know that environment. How do you say, like, how did you find that drive to not conform to your environment and say, you know what, I'm gonna be better than what it is that I see around me?
That's a really good question. For me, honestly, I can only give my story. And my story, at the moment I learned that I was pregnant with my son, I literally had a click in my brain and in spirit, like something just, like I had an awakening, you know? So I realized that if with or without, because at that time, things weren't like 100% with, you know, my son's father. So I realized that I had to lean on a lot on myself to get the job done. And of course I had God by my side. So with that, I was just really tunnel vision and like fell in line for me. So that's really just my story. I know for other people, it's quite different sometimes, but for me, I just knew that I wanted to be an example. I wanted to be an influence, and I wanted to be the image of what, okay, when my son grows up, what image does he have to look at and to look up to, so he can be able to know what he wants to do with his life. And I didn't want to feel like I failed him. So the thought of feeling like I was going to fail my child was something I wasn't willing to risk. So these are all the different components of, okay, what makes you want to what was giving you all this ambition and all this drive? So it was deeper than, you know, my son being my reason, but me wanting it for myself and me wanting it for my child.
And I think I know that's your why. Like, knowing you, having a personal, I know that everything you do is for your son. And even like, I remember when you started, you know, your lash company, which I want you to talk about, is your lash company, and how that allowed you to be what it is that, like, where you are and what you have going on. That took you to that esthetician, to that next level, and what you're doing in New York. And outside of the Navy, people don't realize that the Navy don't have to be your end all be all. The military, I don't care what branch you're in, the uniform doesn't have to stop you from elevating and getting you to the things that you enjoy doing, your passion and your purpose. A lot of people ask me all the time, like, you know, MPA, you know, main promotion assistants, for those that don't know what that means. But how do you balance both? Because when I take this uniform off, I go do my passion. I go do my purpose. I go do what I'm gifted in. It doesn't matter. I understand that this is a stepping stone in my life, but I get where I'm going and I see where I want to be after I take this uniform off. I didn't conform to the Navy. I ensured that the Navy is now a part of my journey. So let's talk about, like, when did you know, like, what business you wanted to start and how you maneuver in that business now?
Okay. So honestly, it started when I was in Japan. I was going to the nail salon, and they did. So I'm in the eyelash business, guys. So I know she mentioned that in the beginning. And I do mink lashes. I am a lash technician. So it started in Japan. I was in Japan in 2014, and I was getting my nails done in a hair salon. And the lady who was doing my nails, she offered to do my lashes. So the way I know lashes to be done in America at the time, they were like clusters. Basically, clusters are, you know, it's like a whole bunch of little lashes, 5 to 6, depending on the amount, you know, and they're literally like glued together, and then you put them on. But she introduced the individual mink lashes. So that when I saw that was like something I saw for the first time, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then when I got back to the States, I saw that America was picking up on that. And I always liked getting my lashes done. And I figured this is something that I think I would enjoy doing. And then that's how that came about with that.
And I think for all those listening out there, like, I see that you saw something and you said, you know what, this is something I want to do, and I'm going to implement it and make it fit me. Sayonara Lashes fits you. When I heard that, when I saw the brand, I was like, that fits her. And a lot of people, it's like, well, somebody already have my idea. Somebody's already doing it. It does not matter how many people are doing it. It matters your piece of the pie in doing whatever it is that you want to do. I'm sure you have assisted people, and people have supported you based on having a connection, a relationship, or a referral that has your name on it. So many people get tied up and this is already being done. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's already done. You do it and you perfect it and you make it fit you. And when I saw you come out with your business, and I remember you having your business opening there in Virginia, it's like, I know you're on a ship, and everybody knows when you're on the ship, man, time is of the essence. Like, literally, you up at 4 or 5 in the morning already. Then you're getting off in the evening, and then now it's time to go hustle. It's time to go grind. Then you still got to make sure that somebody gets picked up from, you know, daycare, and all these things that are happening and moving and shaking. And it's like, you know what? I have to literally implement and strategize my time to make sure my son gets picked up. I got time for myself. I wind down. I'm sure you're reading, you're praying, you're doing all these nightly routines, but still it didn't stop your hustle. It didn't stop your business. And that's powerful. So many people have excuses, but I'm telling you, when you meet hustlers and you meet people that have to make it happen because you have no safety net, ain't no family legacy waiting for you, you have to get it in. It's a different type of grit.
Yes. And this is something that we talk about all the time, you know, just like the importance of understanding, you know, that you got to get up and you got to grind. Like, no matter what, you cannot only exist in the limitations that are set for you. If you do something, there's nothing is going to stop you. And I understand that, you know, everybody has a lot going on, myself included, but I am a true believer that if you really want to do something, nothing is going to stop you. It's just what you're willing to, like, how you're willing to divide your time, yourself, and, you know, prioritizing. Like, my son is like the number one thing in my life, and I'm still able to divide the things that I like to do and still, you know, accomplish what I want to do. Like, you know, being successful in the Navy, ranking up, being successful with school, you know, earning my bachelor's degree, and now almost earning my master's degree, you know, with my business, trying to, you know, continue to move it forward and, you know, develop it even more and making myself more qualified. That's the most important things. We talk about that all the time. It's important to be qualified in what you want to do, so you have opportunities in different doors. You know, it's about not making any excuses. I understand, but I'm not saying pile your plate with a whole bunch of things. Do what is manageable for you, but understand that only you are stopping you from what you want to do. Nothing is stopping you. There are no limitations to what you want to do.
For those that are audio, I wish you could just see the mic drop on the screen, because it's no limit soldier out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no limits. When you've come from places like where we've come up in, mine probably totally different from yours. I'm probably a little bit more luxurious because everybody's hood is a different hood. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, when you know where you come from, that causes you to run in the opposite direction. You will run so fast towards opportunity. You will have ambition and dedication. I'm sorry, but some people who have not had to value the dollar, value a meal, value safety, they do not put value into those things because they never had to, because it was already created for them. When you're born into an environment, you're going to sculpt your life and you're going to transition and you're going to transform based on that environment. Like, you know, a hustler had to probably been hustling and surviving all their life. Somebody who's like, okay, they shut the door, I'm gonna go find another door, or I'm gonna make a door and open it and walk through it myself. My door, my table, my chair. I don't care who's not making room for me. I'm gonna make room for me. You saw me as an enlisted, and I had roadblocks. And I had the stopping points, and I had the health and the mental. Like, we was sitting talking about things like this young in the game, looking at, we got 2 hits as minorities and females. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got 2 hits against us, but how can we still be successful? How can we still go to school? How can we still make it fit for us? And now both of us on platforms where we are excelling in our career, we're excelling in our business, we're excelling in our personal life, in our relationship life, like learning what we want, what we won't settle for, what's not going to happen, what we not going to deal with. And saying you can be successful. I don't care where you come from. It's about focusing and having that tunnel vision with where you're going. And I think for you, what I really wanted to get into as well is like, you're not able to have your son with you right now because of that single mommypreneurship, Navy life. How do you deal with that? Because I know a lot of women is like, well, you know, you have the pros and the cons that come with that. And some women are like, no, I'm just going to get out and be with my child. How did you deal and really make those decisions saying, you know what, I got to take this hit temporarily so I can set myself up for him?
So every day I would wake up, and how I did it, I made it so that I didn't have an option. I made it so that you don't have an option to not go to work. You don't have an option to give up. You don't have an option to have an excuse. The only option you have is to do it. And I'm not trying to come off like insensitive, but it's almost, you have to kind of be insensitive with yourself just to a minimum, because if I allowed myself to be indulged and engulfed in my emotions, it would have most definitely hindered me, you know, and I can't even imagine where I would be right now. But how I dealt with it was, you know, not giving myself an option. Every day that I went to work and I was with my sailors and I seen younger females, you know what I'm saying, and who had their lives, still has their lives ahead of them, and they have so many options and opportunities. Me pouring into them motivated me. Like, you know, believe it or not, like, when I come across a young female who reminded me of me at 21 years old, even younger, you know, 19, and I'm able to share my story, my experiences. So all of those things helped me. And then of course, the thought of me having to provide for my son, of course I have family that, supported me, and I'm very, very grateful for that. But when it comes to the providing, that's me by myself. You know what I'm saying? So without me, how is my son going to be provided for? And when I think about that, I'm just like, I have no choice other than to get it done.
Yeah.
And just thinking about how it would make me feel, just knowing my son has something to, look up to. Like I said, look up to, and want to, he now has an example of what success looks like. So all of those thoughts are running through my mind, so that's how I was able to do it.
Do you feel like at any time did you have to deal with things that like depression, anxiety, PTSD, like mental instabilities? Like, talk about that, because everybody think like, yeah, it sound like it's easy because you've been doing it now, but everybody don't see the struggle. They don't see the mental battles. Like, did you have any mental battles going through all this and trying to build this, like, with no guidance?
So I'm gonna be really transparent with everyone. Throughout my entire experience, I went through battles. It got easier, of course, as the time passed. So basically those battles didn't last as long like they did in the beginning. I had a lot of anxiety that I dealt with. I felt lonely. I felt like, God, I don't want to fail. I felt like, my son, I don't want him to think I neglected him. I don't want him to think that I don't love him. I don't want him. I had all of these, tantalizing, like all of these horrible thoughts of, things that are going to disconnect me and my son. So yes, I definitely dealt with a lot of mental battles, anxiety, and, because the anxiety comes from not having that control when something happens. Things are, going on back at home, the normal things. He's not feeling well. He has a fever. There's nothing I can do. I'm out in the middle of the ocean. There's nothing I could do. So I'm upset. I'm frustrated, and I still got to get to work. I still am expected to perform and execute the job with all of this on my mind, So yes, I definitely dealt with that.
But yeah, it didn't stop you.
No, it didn't stop me. It motivated me. That's what it did.
Yo, and you better take that seat, because and I just posted something like this on I started TikTok, girl, I'm just getting on all I'm finna dominate all platforms. I don't care what platform I'm on it. You're gonna find Shirkydra Roberts on all platforms. That's just my plug right quick. But I did a video because I'm like, how long are you going to be angry, mad, upset, and then use those things to stop you when you can use those things to rocket ship you into your purpose, your destiny, your vision? Like, grind because of your pain, hustle because of your lack. Like, I don't care what somebody said, use that to produce positivity. So much time we use what people say about us, do to us, to literally silence us instead of allow it to create a different voice for us.
So, like, I just want to add to that. So definitely the impression I don't want to give people is that I'm a robot by any means necessary. I'm not. You as a human being, I'm not. You go through your emotions, of course, but don't be stuck in that emotion. I literally give myself like 2 days, 48 hours to feel my emotions, and then I have to function now in a healthy way so I can get it done, because me dwelling in that is not going to get me to where I need to be. So I want to make that clear. Like, as a human being, allow yourself to go through those emotions and deal with that, and I really hope that this is helping a lot of single mothers, who are watching this, and even single dads. It's not easy, but it is very, very doable. You just have to believe that you can do it, and you will do it.
Simple as that.
That's it. You really can do it. There's going to be a lot of days where you're going to feel like, man, this is hard. I can't do this. I felt that more than 1,000 times. Like, I've felt like 1,000 times. But I wanted to accomplish and succeed more than I wanted to give up, So it's just how bad do you want it, because you have someone looking up to you. And I wasn't comfortable. That would never sit right with me, knowing that I gave up, and this is what I'm showing my child, that, hey, when it gets hard, it's okay to just drop the ball.
God.
I was never all right with that. I'm still not okay with that. So
yeah,
never tell me that he is giving up on anything.
It ain't happening.
No, it's not happening. Because you don't want to do it, because it's too hard, you know. And if he doesn't like it, obviously it's a different story. But because of the fact that it's too hard and you're reaching an obstacle, and now all of a sudden you want to give up. Did I show you that? Did you see me do that?
Where you learn that from?
Where did you learn that from? Who taught you that? Because you didn't learn that from me.
Yeah. I think this is so dope. I know this is helping so many people out there. It gotta be, because it's helping me personally. I don't even have kids, but I look at it. What you're talking about is life implemented. Like, you can implement this in your day to day of saying that I want to succeed more than I want to quit. I want to excel more than I want to stop and be still. I want to move forward more than I want to move backwards, because what she did there is she didn't take you out of the emotion. She just created an emotion that is greater than the one you're feeling in this moment. I know that you sometimes want to quit. I know that it gets hard. I know that you can't sleep at night. I know that insomnia creeps up on you. I know that those tears that you cry every single night that nobody know about, but still tugging and pulling on you, I know they exist. But guess what? It's something in you that is greater than that has to come out of you. Because Marlexis, literally, if you didn't do what you do, imagine how many people wouldn't get expired when they thinking it's just a lash appointment and you're pouring into them. It's pampering. You're in the beauty business. You're in the self-esteem business. You're in the self-love and self-confidence business. It's not just about lashes. It's literally about having someone come to you and say, when I leave, I'm going to be better than the way I came in. That's what it's about when you're executing purpose, is that it impacts people's lives. It transforms them.
Yeah. And that is the goal. If I can have an impact and make an influence, have an influence on somebody, then I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that, So it's like, yeah, we're doing all these things that make us happy and make us feel accomplished, but to make someone believe that they can achieve what they want to achieve, even with the many obstacles and limitations they have on. That right there is the goal, the real goal, So I just feel like the one thing, and I'm a positive person. I'm a positive individual, So, and I wasn't always like that. Like, when you and I first met, I was always complaining and always feeling like, this is hard. I don't know, But I had to grow up. I had to grow up and really, really understand that it's not going to just fall in your lap. You have to go through. You have to be like Moses and go through the desert. You have you gotta be taken away from what you're used to, your norm, because all the tools that you were given in this part of your life will not apply to this part of your life, and it's gonna be uncomfortable. That's what growth is. Being uncomfortable and being in a foreign place and understand and finding and being able to find yourself in that, realizing what you're capable of. You are capable of a lot more than you think you are.
And so, like, what's next for you now? So, and because we've been talking about kind of the build up. So, what's next for you this next year? What is Marlexis doing? What is Sayonara Lashes like? What is next for you and your goal and your mission for these next 12 months? Where are you headed?
So, where I'm headed right now is, well, career-wise in the Navy. I'm enlisted, so I'm trying to convert over to officer. Obviously, I'm getting my master's in just a few short months. With Sayonara Lashes, I'm trying to now get my own building where I can, eventually have about 4 or 5 lash techs, and we can, work in there. And inside of my building, I want to become a licensed esthetician. And the most important part, I want to be able to grow much closer with my son, so that he can be a witness to, all of the different accomplishments, and just know that for himself, just instill that type of confidence into him that whatever he puts his mind to, he can do that. So I'm trying to, see if I can, I mean, I know with COVID, there's a lot of limitations with that, but see any type of programs that I can put him into to develop his growth, his mind, you know what I'm saying, even more. But this is the goal this year, you know, with like the near future goal, what I'm trying to work on.
And I love how you mentioned every part of your life. And that's for the audience. You should have, not everybody do like these short-term and long-term goals, but do you have short and long-term goals for every part of your life? Personal, professional, spiritual, emotional. I don't care what you have going on, but I loved how you named your goals was based on every part of you, every piece of you. So that means there's an expectation there. Where there's no expectation, there's no value, there's no execution. If you're wondering why you're not completing the goals, you have not put value there. You have not put execution there. You have not put plans in place to get you across the finish line for whatever that goal is. So it's truly important that you implement things that will allow you to not fail, allow you to not quit, allow you to not have excuses. Put that plan in place. Put a date on it, a timestamp. I do not care what that looks like, and not so far out that you can be lazy with it. Make it almost like you know, they tell us, and I say the scripture tells us to be anxious for nothing, but in the sense of having it to where it's so close to you that you're demanded to do it for yourself, not for nobody else, not for clout, not for flashy, but do it because you told yourself you was going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I love that. So, you know, before we wrap it up here, one, thank you so much, because I know the audience is loving it. I know they're feeling it. I know that I got so many gems, and I always learn. We have 2 and 3 hour conversations all the time. So I wanted to share what I get all the time. Y'all get it now, but please go follow her and what she's doing. For those that are listening, Marlexis, Marlexis Cintron, on social media platforms, and see what she has going on. I know you're going to go to the NY and do it big. Whatever God has for you is for you, and you keep your head up and you just moving in excellence the way that you have been doing. But I want you to give the audience just one last thing, is if I was a single parent and I came to you and says, I don't know what to do next, what would be your first word of advice for someone that's saying, my child is coming to this world in 2 or 3 months and I don't know what to do?
So my advice would be, okay, so you should figure out what it is that what makes you happy. What you got to put yourself in your child's position. You know what I'm saying? And think about your life, how you came up. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's good or bad. If you had a bad situation, understand the life as an adult, how you would want to provide for your child. If you were in a good situation, you understand, okay, I want my child to experience the things that I did, if not more, you know. So you got to think about what would be important to you to provide for your child. You know what I'm saying? And I would just say that, you know, try to, you know, get into some type of schooling. If you don't have a degree, try to push yourself in a direction that you know is going to benefit you first. Because if you're not good, your child, you know, and then ultimately that's going to benefit your child. And I know that it's a lot of compromising situations. Some people don't have the support. You know, I can say that I was very blessed with that, but just take it one day at a time and do what is within your means. Don't feel like you have to rush yourself to get to a certain level. Understand that things do take time. So start off, you know what I'm saying? Just whatever it is. You get a job, you start school, you get affiliated with a program that's going to help you get an apartment, whatever. Something that's not going to make you feel like you are humiliating or degrading yourself to provide for your child. Like, you do what you feel like you have, you know, you just do what you have to do.
Dope. All right, Lex, appreciate you, girl. You got anything for the audience before we wrap this thing up?
So like she told you, I'm a lash tech. So I have my own business. I tell everybody to follow me on Instagram. It's Cynara, CYNARA_lashes. So that's on my Instagram, and you can follow me on Facebook, which is Marlexis Cintron. I see that name is showing up here, so exactly that it's spelled is exactly the way it is on my Facebook. And yeah, so that's all I have for you guys with that.
Yes, come through with the mic drop. I love it. I love it. I hope y'all really one, follow her. Two, listen to this episode over and over when you need that drive, you need that motivation to understand that you are in control of your destiny. You are in control of completing your goals. I know that we all have this upbringing, and we wasn't taught finances and managing and what happens during adversity, and we can be emotional, and it's okay to not be okay. Like, we don't always get this, but once you got it, you got to do something with it. Once you have the information, once you have the motivation, once you have the inspiration, you have to do something with it. What you got, sis?
The last thing, to a single mother or a single father, do not let anyone tell you can't do something.
Well,
that's the biggest lie anybody can tell you. First of all, no one is in your situation. They're not dealing with what you're dealing with. So they don't know what your future is. They don't know what you're capable of. Only you know what you're capable of. Do not let anyone tell you can't do something, because you can do whatever it is you put your mind to. The back is against the wall and you don't have any options. You'll be very surprised on what you can do in a situation like that.
Put us in the room and tell us to escape, that escape room.
Yes, and I guarantee you're going to have it figured out.
Man.
That's the detective then, huh? Getting out of an escape room. But don't let anyone tell you can't do something. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. And that's just period.
That's on period. Yes, honey.
Mary had a little lamb.
Mary had a little lamb. Come on, somebody. We finna act up, y'all. We're going to get up out of here. Continue to go beyond the vision. I want you to go make sure that you're following us on all social media platforms, Beyond the Vision. On Instagram, follow me, Shirkydra Roberts, on every platform. Holla at your girl on TikTok, because I am on there doing my thing now. I ain't no perfectionist yet, but I am getting there. Hey, listen, Marlexis, I said I'm dominating every platform. I'm not playing no games. I don't care. Wherever the youth is, there I shall be. We gonna make sure they have confidence, they have self-esteem. We are pouring into our communities. So wherever y'all at, there I shall be.
We're here for the youth.
Come on now. We're here for the youth. All right, y'all. Continue to go beyond your vision, and I'll holler at y'all in the next episode.